All right. Can we be heard?
I think so.
If we can be heard, put a one in the comment section. Yeetig. Uh, if y'all can hear me, man, put a one in the comment section. And I'm gonna put the link for those who would like to join us in the conversation. We're just gonna give it a few more. Let a few more people come through the Dizzo. Yeah, one. I see that one. We could hear you, Brian Fat. All right. Carabo, wine was him. C du toi. Is that right? C du toi? Du toi.
SJ.
Oh, and I got my glasses on. Why look at my salam, brother Blackfish, son of Al Kuban. I know that means Africa, but I ain't never know how to pronounce it. That was the name of Africa before, back in the G, you know. All right, family, we're just gonna get a few more people in here and we're just gonna start running our mouth. It's been a minute since we did this.
Man.
It's been a minute since we went live. It's a rainy Sunday night here in Joburg. Hello.
Cherish the love we have.
I'm gonna say she's no, I think that's a sister. Carabo, I think C Dutois, SJ Dutois is a sister. Or like she might be colored, but I think yeah, I met her before. If I'm not mistaken, she came out to see us at when we had the
Really?
we had no the thing at the with the school with the university. I forgot what it was, but it was something that we had.
I know that. That's cool.
Dominique Ham was him. Don Parker was him. We're gonna get started in a minute. We just let we 21. It's 18 people now. We're trying to get to 21.
Why?
That's the age of consent. Oh, somebody say, please speak louder. All right, I'm gonna speak louder. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh well. All right. Yes, yeah. It's the sister that came to the thing.
Oh, cool.
It's usually an Afrikaans surname. Oh, for
Oh,
real?
that's interesting.
It's that look French. We have a lot of French names in New Orleans, black folk with French names. Yeah. So some called Josie Gold. Somebody called Josie Gold. Man, where is Josie Gold? Huh?
No, we have been live.
Yeah, I can't blame him. Yeah. Black Scorpion, what's happening, fam? All right, we got 22 on. All right, let's get started.
Hey.
All right, we didn't hit our thrush mark. Boom. Just like that. You gonna monitor the comments?
I'll try.
All right. All right, fantasy brother aside.
I ain't no major.
And we are back again with another quick live. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and hit that notifications bell so that you'll be notified when we drop new material on this channel. Secondly, in terms of housekeeping, I got to give a special and a significant and a particular and a peculiar shout out to my South African family for all the love you guys have shown this channel. My wife, myself, my children, we greatly appreciate it. Third, in terms of housekeeping, bam, bam, bam. Just like that. Bam, bam, bam. Just like that. We got to give a special and a significant and a particular and a peculiar shout out to the rest of the family, to the UK family, to the New Orleans family. Well, I done messed that up. To the Texas family, Louisiana family, the New Orleans family, because that's two separate things. We see y'all. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Thank y'all for supporting this little channel, man. And yes, I am back in Johannesburg after a quick trip to the United States. I left on a Saturday. I was back in Johannesburg on a Friday. But let me tell you how they did me, y'all. I got there on a Saturday. No, I'm sorry, on a Sunday. And Sunday is the second line day. If y'all don't know what a second line is a cultural tradition in New Orleans where a band takes to the street and people march behind the band. It's different clubs and social aid and pleasure clubs and organizations that put these second lines on. But anyway, I got there. They had a whole mass shooting. Yeah, 10 people hit. Hey, nothing. Welcome home. That's what that stage is. Welcome home. Shout out Paul and Paul. What you talking about? Paul on the talking about yo, D and I should get a special shout out. The family shout out. All right. Shout out to Paul and Denise, the fam.
The fam.
Ken and Kim, the fam. Ahmad and Kim. Boy, look, it's more Ken Williams. It's more people last name Williams at the moon in South Africa, Africa than a little bit. All the black people in America got a last name Williams, look like. Shout out. They came here. It's a whole bunch of them. Shout out to Ahmad and Kim. Shout out to Stacy and Red. Shout out to Big Spooder. Who I'm missing. I see you niggas swiping my message.
It's not me.
No, I ain't swiping no messages.
It's not me.
Shout out to the whole fam. I know there's people I done forgot that I should have said. I should never start with the names. But anyway.
What are we talking about tonight?
So I guess we got a lot to talk about. My trip to the US. We could talk about Trump and his appointments and his cabinet appointments. Festive season is on its way. I think some of y'all done started festive season kind of early.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to Antoine and Kim. Look, I know y'all be like, what Kim? Kim must be one woman. One hell of a woman. It's buku Kims here. It's a lot of
about 3
Kims.
What you want from me?
It is. So let's let y'all. It's like and I think 2 of them named Kim Williams, right? And yeah, so there's my frat brother Antoine, his wife named Kim. My other frat brother Ken, his wife named Kim, and then our partner Ahmad, his wife named Kim, and 2 of them named Kim Williams. So there's a lot of there's a lot of Kims, there's a lot of Williamses going on all of a sudden. So I went back to New Orleans, y'all, and let me tell y'all, man, that the energy in the States is different right now. Now I was in New Orleans in April, so it's not like I've been gone for like 10 years or 3-4 years, and I had to say I was just in New Orleans in April, and I'm telling you, the people that I saw, they look like they are on. It's like they're anticipating for how you say that the next foot to drop. I don't know if y'all know what that means, but like they just waiting for the bad stuff to happen because they know it's coming. You know what I'm saying? I saw a lot of drug use. I saw a lot of drinking, like but it didn't come from a place of like celebration. It just I'm telling you, I was in the car in the Uber, and I looked over to my right, and there was a lady, and y'all know I vape. I was just vaping just now. Like I don't drink. I don't do no drugs, but I love vape, But anyway,
gotta go ahead and hit it.
Go hit it one time. But so I looked over at this lady, man, and she was hitting her vape so hard, like she was just like she was trying to blow all the stress. Yeah, she was. Well, look, I don't know how she drove off because she couldn't see once she released that cloud. But yeah, man, it's a lot of stressful looking people, and then like yeah, it's a topic I want to touch on, but I might not touch on it right now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if y'all ready to have that conversation. I might not be ready to have it quite yet. Yeah. I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready to have that conversation. But New Orleans has changed. The demographics have changed drastically, and you can see it now. Let me just go on and have the conversation.
Oh Lord.
So look.
So look. Can't say what you gonna say it.
Then we're gonna have a conversation. New Orleans was black and white. Like you had black people, you had white people, then you got some light-skinned people called
Vietnamese.
They don't even count because they live by themselves. They don't never interact with nobody else. You go out to New Orleans East by the Vietnamese, everything in Vietnamese. They don't vote, they don't do nothing, they don't be around. So you don't really see them. So they got their own, so they got their little community. But for the most part, it was black and white. And now it's not. Now it's not. Like I'm telling you, I was looking at all the people working on the roads because the Super Bowl, the NFL Super Bowl is coming 2025 to New Orleans. So y'all know about the Kendrick Lamar gonna perform at the Super Bowl in New Orleans. Everybody thought Lil Wayne should have been the person. But so they're working on the roads, and all it is like, our Hispanic brothers and sisters, and I'm not an anti-immigrationist. We immigrants. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not anti-immigration, but I did see that wasn't no black men out there working. And if I was living in the States during the last 2 years while this campaign for election was going on, I can see how some people were impacted by that. I can see how if you're riding down the street and you see a whole bunch of city contracts and you don't see nobody from the city, that's a problem. And I mean, I don't know what to say about it. I don't know. I'm not with Trump rounding people up, but I see how people look and say, wait a minute, my neighborhood is changing, my community is changing. New Orleans is a sanctuary city, meaning that they will accept the immigrants, give them protection, whatever have those seeking asylum or whatever have you. And so yeah, I saw a lot of that. I don't know how I really feel about it. Like Adrian and I was having a discussion. She was saying, well, you can't be mad at people for trying to come up.
You
right?
can't.
You can't be mad at people trying to come up. Then on the flip side of it, I'm like, well, what's the impact on the economics for or at least the employment for the young black men? And we got, 30% unemployment of young black males, right?
Right.
What's the implications on the culture, right? Because New Orleans has a distinct culture. And when you start bringing in new cultural groups, things happen. Things have changed a little bit. They might not understand. When the white people started coming after Katrina, they didn't understand our culture. They didn't understand why we were taken to the streets with bands and Mardi, and all, not Mardi Gras, but second lines and all that type of stuff. So I remember they had people trying to, you know, regulate that. So what happens when all these lightning? What happens when all these new people come in? What happens to the voting base? Right?
Culture changes.
What
Culture's
has
always changing.
well, no, our culture ain't always changing. Our culture been the same
Over
for
time, though.
like
Oh, I'm talking over long periods of time. Culture changes because there's always migration of people for different reasons.
yeah.
So it's never gonna stay the same. Like that's just not gonna happen. Nothing stays the same forever.
Okay, that's fine.
Eventually there will be a change and a shift in the culture, you know, adapt and adjust.
But I'm saying that's kind of unfortunate when you have a people that's all they really have is their culture.
Mm.
We don't have no money. We don't have no power. All we have is our cultural expressions, and those are things that are ancient. They go back to Africa. They are ancient cultures, and I just don't, I want to see, shout out to Cinco de Mayo. You know what I'm saying? And what's the other little holiday that we have? And whatever. You know what I'm saying? They got Cinco de Mayo and something else. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm just saying, like, I don't want Cinco de Mayo to be bigger than the second line. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see like we ain't got no more second lines because we doing Cinco de Mayo. That's all I'm saying. That's just really what I'm saying. Like, look, and ain't no more areas to give them. Maybe they can compete with the Vietnamese for the area out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, but it's anyway. What the comments talking about? Let's jump in the comments.
Okay, a lot of different comments. But congrats on the book that came up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tensions are real right now in the U.S. They gave you that little, yeah. Okay, somebody's daughter's going to college in South Africa. They're going to scout the University of Pretoria. And
check out Vits.
Best of luck with that. Hello from Atlanta. It's like everywhere. It's time to pack up and move out of the U.S.
ATL shouting.
Oh, okay. Said, man, Dallas is now all Indians and Chinese.
I know you lying. What the Mexicans doing? Because that's Mexican.
Things change.
Wait a minute.
Things change.
Wait a minute. Texas is Mexican. Well, how the Mexicans get immigrated out? What's going on? This is ridiculous.
So Sandile says, doesn't culture evolve and change with the times? It can't be that static.
I know, man, but we don't want to see it change in front of your eyes. You want to see it change over time. Let me die and let you know what I'm saying. Let the next generation, see a little bit of incremental change. Well,
okay. I've watched you guys since day one. You both looked happier in South Africa. Thank God you all got out. Your kids got out of the States. I really think you should consider. Oh, UP. Okay, they're talking about
the school, yeah.
And Black people have to create barriers to protect our cultures.
Look,
there, that's you. That's for you.
Yeah. We gotta protect it. And so what I'm afraid of is that right now and speaking specifically about New Orleans, there is a white Hispanic lady who is like whispers of her being the next mayor. And that's weird. That is really weird. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't it I don't even know if she's from New Orleans. I don't even think she's from New Orleans. Like she was a TV person. She was a personality, a news anchor. And now all of a sudden they talking about she might be the mayor. That's weird to us. I mean, I guess you got to accept change as it comes. But what happens when people feel like they losing something? Like we're losing a part of our identity because this culture is so much of who we are. What happens when you like, I don't know. I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, man. Like for the first time ever, when I was
now you certainly understand Europeans and you certainly understand white Americans now. Because that's exactly what they feel when they see all of these new brown people coming in left and right in their workplaces and their neighborhoods and their area. They're like, wait, hold
But
up.
that ain't my problem. Let them deal with that. That ain't my problem. Let the people deal with that. I'm saying don't make it my problem. Don't don't make it my problem. Look, let me tell y'all something. The most ingenious thing that happened in this political season was Greg Abbott and
That
what's your
thing in
boy
Florida.
name?
That
Your
thing in
boy in
Florida, I
Florida
can't.
sending the immigrants to sanctuary cities. See, the thing about it is we were all about sanctuary cities when we didn't have to deal with the actual immigrants. It's oh yeah, you're supposed to protect them. You're supposed to give them food and water. What's wrong with you? But then when they like, yeah, I'm not saying no.
From the Bible and everything. You have to give to the poor.
Yeah, what you
all this other type of stuff. And now it's like, whoa.
whoa, yeah, I'm saying like, oh, y'all coming here?
It was good when you were in Texas. Why are we like people like
But
this, y'all?
if I didn't have an honest conversation with you, I'd be like, oh man, aside phone. I'm just telling you how I'm just telling you how I know people felt now. I had to see it with my own eyes. I heard about it in Chicago. I heard about it in New York. I didn't hear about it in New Orleans until I got there. And then I was like, oh snap. Cause if you used to seeing a whole bunch of black people, and then all of a sudden you see a lot of our brown brothers. And look, I'm not disparaging them people. I'm not saying nothing negative about them. I'm just saying I know there's a sentiment and a feeling that's taking place right now. And I'm saying I understand that sentiment and that feeling. Like, dang, yeah, they're everywhere. So what else we got?
Somebody said, oh, hello from Slidell. Did witness the Trumpers riding around with their flags and chest out
Look
in the trucks, huh?
Look, we saw that before we left. We saw that in 2022. We were in Lafayette Park. We ain't no business going out there by them white people in Lafayette Park.
Man, whatever. That's our part. They used to be our part.
It was nice and quiet. Yeah.
Walking around.
Yeah.
No craziness.
Until we were walking that one day and it was a parade of Trump trucks. It was like 15 trucks. They had big old American flags and big old Trump flags. And they was just riding through and they was honking their horn. It was a message being sent. But then when I landed in Atlanta last Saturday or whenever I landed, I mean last Sunday, when I landed in Atlanta, I was walking through the airport and I saw people with Trump shirts. So I'm like, the election over. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you got a Trump shirt on right now? But that's sending a message. You know what I'm saying? Like this, hey, that's almost like being able to
some loyal constituents.
Yeah, he does.
Trump got some loyal constituents. I mean, the man could get charged with all kind of stuff, say all kind of craziness, and they like, I ride with him.
People don't want to admit.
If only we all could find someone as loyal to us as a Trump constituent.
No, I'm about to tell you where the Trump people came from. A lot of us got short-term memory loss. But now I don't know if my South Africans know about this, but go back to 2008 to 2016 when Obama was president. If you said anything, Obama couldn't do nothing. Matter of fact, They didn't took down Martin Luther King out the house, and they didn't replaced him with Barack Obama. You see what I'm saying? It's Jesus and Barack. And that's the way it was for those 8 years. And you could not say nothing against. You could talk about all the bombs he was dropping with AFRICOM in Africa. He dropping bombs, and you could, oh man, he killing people. Man, he's supposed to do. I mean, black people were saying all kind of.
He was a deporter in chief.
He was deporting people.
Couldn't criticize that.
Guantanamo Bay, he ran. He said, I'm going to shut Guantanamo Bay down. 2-3 years after, I think Guantanamo's still open. I think it's still open.
Legally holding people.
Yeah. So that type of blind allegiance, really, we were the first cutting up like that. Like black people were the first people that had a political candidate that we refused to hold accountable for anything, right? Obama got in front of, and I'm not trying to bash Obama. I'm just saying, like, we have to have a real memory and think about how we were acting when Barack Obama was in office. He got in front of and told people at Morehouse, these college graduates at Morehouse that don't nobody care about the racism and your struggle and all that type of stuff. And we made excuses for it.
Did he lie to him?
It don't matter. It don't matter. We made so the Trump supporters really picked up a play out of our book and to say, oh, since y'all ain't gonna hold him accountable, give us him. And we ain't gonna do nothing. We ain't gonna hold him accountable for nothing. But this dude going to fall. What did it say? Isn't Mayor? Well, let's talk about it. Let's see.
Where? The mayor one?
Oh, look at Barry Payton. Ron Bay. What's going on, my brother? Oh, not big brother.
New Orleans is always changing. That's what Barry Payton said.
What he said?
The mayor supposed? He said New Orleans is always. Isn't a mayor supposed to be representative? How are you Hispanic? Represent the aspirations of Black people from New Orleans. It's part of stripping you of the feeling of home.
That part, they got it from the book. They got it from the book. That part, you gonna strip us of home? Yeah, that's look. Yeah, that's my people right there. I like that. Of course.
What is it? Trump and Jacob Zuma, same WhatsApp group.
So tell me, somebody, look, let me put this link back in here for anybody that wants. So hold on. I gotta figure this out. Oh no. Man, I gotta be slow. How you do that? Oh, there you
go. Oh, okay.
All right. Anybody that want to jump on a Zoom, boom, boom, boom. There it is right there.
Get down on it.
Look at Geechee. The Geechee Dan from the city talking about it. He saw me sneak back in. Bro, they was shooting, so I snuck back out. They started shooting as soon as I arrived, so I snuck on out.
In and out. All right.
It says Zuma and Trump are the same Dr. Side. I'm telling you, you're getting Afrikaans people in your lives.
Such a white opinion. But that person busts back and said, I'm not white. And they are the same. I don't know if they're the same.
Would somebody get on the thing and explain to me what that means?
Also, most white South Africans are very pro-Trump but hate Zuma. There's a lot of South Africans, even non-white, that are.
Yeah, I heard a lot of. I talked to a brother that was in the ANC, Spare the Nation. He's an older gentleman, and I think he set up one of the camps maybe in Angola. It was in a neighboring country. I don't remember the story in full, but you remember we met him at
Yeah.
Oh, that's my daddy. I gotta call him back.
Yeah. Call him back.
My daddy. But so if anybody read the book, let me tell you how things go. So I wrote in the book that I ain't never heard my daddy tell me he loved me, right? I wrote that, and then I also said that, he showed me he loved me.
You already knew. Yeah.
Man, see, when I got home, I was in the room, my daddy walked in, my mama said, your son say you don't tell him you love him. Hey, he must have told me he loved me about 5 times.
I should got a guilt on that.
He dropped me off at the airport. I love you, son. I said, oh, you know how to say, yeah. He must have told me about 5 times. But I gotta disagree. Somebody say, Doc, I gotta disagree with you that
Barack was the first to have blind allegiance. After the Voting Rights Act passed, every Southern Democrat switched parties and would have voted for a box of
Probably so. Look, I'm just talking about what I remember. I don't remember no Southern Democrats, man. All the people the same to me. I don't be doing no distinctions between those Southern Democrats, northern white people, northern white people. All of them the same to me right now. Right now, we ain't none of us on good terms. Ain't none of us on good terms.
Geechee Dennis from the Civil War, St. Bernard, and ATL now.
I'm pro Burkina
Burkina
Faso.
Faso love them kicking out the French.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. And I heard they also was it Burkina or Mali? Mali, I think it was Mali paid off their debts or something, like all their internal debts, maybe not external, but all their internal debts. Which hey, listen,
keeping up with the news.
It might be a new time for the continent. Somebody say Southern Democrat is an oxymoron. I just look, I'm starting to think white liberal is an oxymoron. I'm trying to make sense of all that was going on. Everybody stand accused at this point. Everybody stand accused. I don't know what's going on, but I tell you, politics is complicated, isn't it? Because
yeah,
just as I was saying that, as I'm talking about these immigrants, that's what the Trump supporters were saying. That's what all of them were saying. Like we, I don't know, y'all. And then this dude is say, man, he put a woman who was in the WW, she was a wrestler or like on the wrestling thing.
I was like, I don't think she was an actual wrestler.
No, she wrestled. They showed her getting body slammed by a wrestler one time. Like she was actually a participant at once. I mean, I know her husband owned it, but what I'm saying is like, but she ain't never taught in school in her life. How is she over the Department of Education? What education she got to do education, to run education departments? You know, hey, this stuff he put Dr. Oz. Yo, Dr. Oz. That's like putting Dr. Dre. Dr. Pepsi. I mean, Dr. Pepper. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Dr. J. All these, it's these people don't belong in power now. We got some stuff going on that's ridiculous. No, man, what else going on the comments?
1 foot in, 1 foot out. Huh?
Let me see. Laugh the country though. He's not like Trump. What did she say? It's real.
It's the Sahel region. It's a new Mali.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you, the videos don't hit the same when Mrs. Malik not doing. Hey, look, bro, that's the people right there. That's the other half. You know what I'm saying? That's the other half.
Because you've been doing a lot of the book stuff.
Yeah, those videos, just been interviews and stuff, just putting them up there to let y'all see I be doing other stuff besides sitting on YouTube laughing and joking. Yeah. BSing with y'all, man. So, man, what's going on for festive season? Look, man, if y'all want to jump on the live, I put the link in the thing. I'm gonna do it one more again. Boom. Boom. Y'all want to jump on the live, come through, man. And oh Lord, it say competency restoration, Lord.
Oh wow.
That was a whole nother thing.
Not competency restoration.
So the Zoom link say competency restoration. That was for when I was look, that was when we were doing when everybody went virtual in 2020. So I don't know how it linked up with that thing. That's crazy. Trump will
back on this Zuma thing. Y'all need to jump on the live. Y'all
yeah, somebody tell me what's going on with Zoom.
Back and forth.
So look, I was having this whole conversation about how the young people that I hear at Vets have strong critiques of Nelson Mandela, right? So what's the critique of Zuma? What we wasn't around, so we don't know. So if y'all want to tell us in the comments or you want to jump on and explain like what happened during the Zuma presidency that has polarized the South Africa, because you have some people that look, when he started the MK, that was a wrap. It was a whole lot of people left the ANC to follow behind Zuma. So the question is, I mean, so you have people who love and support him, and then you have people who are very critical of him. So what happened? He wasn't the one with the money in the thing, huh? No, that was no, that was yeah. No. The Newsberry is.
They going back and forth about it.
Oh, they going back and forth about names. Well, the comments always get to having their own show in the comments, you know. So what's happening in the meantime? What's happening for festive season? What y'all doing? I guess can't nobody answer since ain't
Right.
nobody.
Answer in the comments since you guys don't want to get on the live.
I'm thinking we need to take a trip to Cape Town. We've done Durban twice already.
I can do it.
I'm thinking we need to take a trip to Cape Town. You know, I want to see it with my own eyes again. I only saw it one time in my entire life, and I live here, and it's like everybody, because Cape Town beautiful, so I want to take a trip. I'm gonna say sorry, guy.
I don't know.
He says ancestors from Burkina Faso. Yeah, okay.
All
All right.
Get caught
So, all right.
Sex
So
is
in the
not
comments,
really
here what we do. If it one for Sun City, two for Cape Town. Y'all, we will let y'all decide. And the thing about Sun City, it's like if I ain't booked it right now, I don't think I can get a spot
City now.
unless y'all know somebody.
And it's gonna be too expensive this time of year.
But I still want to see Sun City and I want to see Cape Town again. So what y'all think we should do? Sun City or Cape Town? One, Sun City, two, Cape Town. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm interested in like for the because I've seen a few Americans on here talking about it's time to go, it's time to go. Is that how y'all really feeling? Like, are y'all really feeling like we got to jump ship and roll out?
That's how we felt.
Immediately.
Why you gonna question them people? That's how we felt. We were like, no, we got to get out of here.
Yeah, but that was like, it was a different time.
Look, the time to go was
like we just wanted to come here because we thought it was fire. Like we really just enjoyed being in South Africa and had a good time.
No, but we talked to a lot of people already that's already saying
escaping necessarily.
What is
like
you can't tell people how to feel. Them people, if them people feel like that.
Didn't I ask y'all a question?
Oh, I'm just
saying.
saying.
You attacking me, but all I did was asking
I ain't attacking you. You know what I'm saying?
How to feel.
I said you can't tell the people how to feel. If the people feel like they're ready to go, let them go. What I'm saying, we've been black folk been saying we need to get to going, so I'm promoting it. Go. But look, if y'all can't make it to Africa, go to New Orleans and let's balance these numbers out a little bit.
Don't do that.
Let's balance these numbers back out in our favor.
Because I need to go back to New Orleans.
Truthfully,
the one that left New Orleans talking about move to New
what I'm saying, if you can't make it here, if you can't make it to Africa or out the country, no, here's why. Listen, we went from being like 68% of the population prior to Hurricane Katrina down to like they say it's 60, and I'm really suspect about that. But we can't afford to lose no more. So we need people come get on our side, right? Because if not, yeah, you'll see like we already saw a white mayor post Katrina. He kind of snuck in there on us, you know what I'm saying, on some slick stuff. But you'll see a whole all white city council. I mean, it'll happen because the allies, you know, like if I thought our Hispanic brothers and sisters, I could count on them as allies, and it's like, okay, well, cool. That just adding to our voting block. But we see with the last election, we can't count on that. You know what I'm saying? So if you decide you want to leave and you can't make it all the way, go ahead on to New Orleans. It's almost like Africa. Almost. Kinda. You know what I'm saying? Just stay strapped and you'll be good. You'll be good.
I think that like there's more Cape Town votes than Sun City.
For real?
Yeah, because they're saying like Cape Town is popping.
But here's the thing.
For New Year's Eve, especially.
Oh no, we here for New Year's Eve. Y'all know they had the annual New Year's Eve party. Here, that's popping. And it's a 90s party. Yeah. I think I might go dress as DMX. DMX. I might put on the bandana. Yeah, that part. Ride or die. Which I really want. I might come out like that.
I don't know if they'll be able to catch it though. Like the costume has to be like readily identifiable.
Yeah.
Good one. So DMX, it'd be hard to be like, who are you?
Yeah, you know? I mean, yeah, I'm too big to do pop. I might, I don't know. I gotta do a medium-sized rapper.
Me too.
Because them was little bitty people. I need to do a medium, a regular, a full grown man size. Yeah, or somebody I don't know. But it's a '90s party. But I'm talking about between 9 and then, like, because basically I got most of December off. Like, yeah, so, or I'm gonna take most of December off. Let me say it like that. So,
That part.
yeah.
That part. Oh, so Cape Town, but so full. Yeah. There's a lot of people in Cape Town
But
for that time of year.
is it? But I heard that's like, and I'm not trying to be racist in that. I swear to God. But I heard that's like where the Europeans like vacate for Christmas or whatever have you for the holiday break. You know. So
But everybody's the same.
somebody say, "What's up with the white town?" And I say, so what I learned about Orania is that Orania is technically private property. If I am mistaken, if my South African family, please correct me if I'm wrong, but they said it was a farm that they converted into a small like city structure, which is not unusual here in SA because you have what's unusual about Orania is that is all white, but you have places like Stein City, Kyalami, Danefern, all of these gated communities, but Stein City or Stein City in particular is what to our American peoples what we call a gated community, but it's like a gated community times three to the umpteenth power because they even have like a little small business district. I don't know what they call it.
City center.
Yeah, city center is what they call it. They even have this a neighborhood, y'all, with a little city center. They got schools there, they got restaurants, all that stuff within this gated community. So I think somebody in the comments, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Orania was like a private land that they turned into like a gated community and call it a city, like they call Stain City a city or whatever, or like they even call Waterfall City a city. And yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, that's what can you do with that when you have private property? I think that's if please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's part of the problem. It's like it's privately held, it's privately owned land. So that's how you can that's how they do what they do, or whatever have you. But as I said before, man, I don't want to be around nobody that don't want to be around me. You know what I'm saying? So like I understand that's African soil, this land belongs to the people. I got you on all that. You know what I'm saying? I believe that. But at the end of the day, if they don't want to be around me, I don't want to be around them. Do you? Yeah, I ain't trying to, what I look like you done built the whole city by yourself and me coming over there trying to hang with you.
Right. Driving way out in the wilderness. Let me in. I want to move in.
I don't want to visit. I don't want to see it. I don't really care what's going on over there. Yeah, I mean, like, I think there's a bigger issue in terms of like, wait a minute, you can't like for those of us who are on the side of the land issue, that's the issue. But in terms of people separating and segregating themselves, have at it. If that's what you want to do, do you?
Do you?
I ain't buying chasing nobody.
Yeah.
You understand?
I think we've had this conversation ad nauseum. I think Black Americans are very fascinated. It feels like with Arania. It's something that folks just always sort of fixate on.
Yeah.
And my thing is like, it doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't impact me that much. You know, if if South Africans have an issue with it, then that's their issue to take up with them. But
yeah,
that that don't want to do it.
Yeah,
So
I'm like
keep focusing on this random small town. So
right. I don't want. Yeah, let the people be.
let that go. Oh Lord, now everybody on this.
What they say?
Even Saint City is not allowed to decide who gets to buy property on the basis of race, but unnecessary. Nobody loses opportunity for being excluded from Iranian.
Now, what they said? Say that again.
No, you don't. So I'm not gonna read.
Okay, bro. Even Stain City is not allowed. No, 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 no. I'm not saying that the racism is supposed to be like discriminatory, but is it or was it not private land? Is what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah. They can plot in those concentrated. So can you.
Like if I drive at night on the interstate in Metairie while black back in racist ass Harry Lee. No, I don't Orania nowhere near like Joe Berg. I don't think like they off by themselves. Yeah, they off by themselves.
Major metropolitan area.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's what they call in the city, man. It's like a little bitty neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So
Mm.
then I guess you want to, bro. Staying city is not allowed to decide who gets to buy property that based on race. But Orania is unnecessary. Nobody loses the opportunity from being excluded. Right, but Orania is unnecessary. Nobody loses opportunity from being excluded from Orania. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Orania not creating jobs. Like, like, yeah. Dr. Side will be, oh, Mr. October, say that one more time. We'll be opening a soul food restaurant, Papa Joe's in Rudaport in a few months. I also have a food truck bringing that authentic Mississippi cooking. Would love for you and your family to come through. I'm now.
All right.
I'm now. Bro, let me know. What man, you supposed to jump on the live and tell the people that, man. Tell the people you about to bring some soul food restaurants here. That's what I'm talking about. Mr. October. I don't know who that is, though. It was private land, true. Yeah. It's in the Free State. Now that's strange. The irony of the Free State and Orania is not missed on me, you know? Yeah, Orania is isolated. Black Americans fascinate Orania because they like Orania in Tulsa 1921, i.e., why is it even allowed to exist given the history of SA? I mean, that's serious questions. That's look.
I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand the point because they bombed Tulsa. So are you saying you're upset that Black South Africans didn't bomb or destroy Orania? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you got people who think so. I think we need to discuss like the natures of human beings. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think that it's really even in any black people's nature to be as vicious as we have been treated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think and then some black people say it's about time we get that vicious. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I mean, we will be vicious towards each other. That's a fact.
No.
We will be vicious toward each other. So there's a whole argument to be made.
Son of a couple of you on something else.
What is it?
He said yeah, so he mad because he wanted him to be bombing people and all this stuff.
Nah.
Or you on something else. I'm not.
Nah.
Nah, I can't get with you on that one.
No, I ain't. Look, let
This
me
ain't my country.
Yeah, this ain't that. Yeah, that ain't for me to say, brother. Let my South African family take care of that. That ain't for me to say. You know what I'm saying? They mess around, and put my black ass out. Hey, I'm back in America. Mess around with you, son of Alchemist. Son of Alchemist. How you say it?
I'm trying to set up an Iran.
You ain't able to get me put out. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Look, whatever the South African family say, that's what I'm on. I'm on the side of the masses. Whatever the masses say, that's what I'm on the side. That's what they told my brother. Go ask me on one of them interviews. He asked me about the election, a South African election. I said, you know, I may ask questions, but I don't make no comments like this. They was wrong for doing this or this, that, and the third. That ain't my place to say that. I let the South African listen. Here's what I'm saying. This is the code that we talk about. When Black Americans come to Africa, we need to stand on code with the people, and vice versa. When Africans go to the United States, stand on code with the people. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you look at YouTube, you see a lot of these FBA, ADOS, and all of this back and forth with like the Africans is because everybody not standing on code. And I don't like that language, but I'm using it because I heard people say it. So what I mean by that is when dude asked me about the elections, here's what I say. I stand on the side of whoever is going to make life good for the children of Soweto, like it is for the children of Sant. That's it. I let it's too many. Listen, I understand that you got people who are passionate about the MK party. Most of the people that I met here originally that I'm cool with, Easy and all them people ANC, and you're not gonna change them from being ANC. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I met a few people who black and in the DA. You know what I'm saying, or who colored and in the DA or whatever have you. I know there's a lot of complexity to this, just like it's a lot of complexity to American politics. So what I say, I look at the landscape and say, where my people at? What side they on? Boom. That's what side I'm on. I'm whatever they scream, I'm gonna be like, go ahead, brother, scream that louder. That's all I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna rep what y'all repping, and that's what I feel like must happen in the United States. I mean, this is what we talked about at the conference in Kenya when we talked about the rise of African immigrants in the United States. It is wise for African immigrants to integrate very deeply within the infrastructure that Black Americans have already built. We already have the Congressional Black Caucus. We have already, run campaigns and know how to take an agenda and push it. Now, sometimes I'm mad at us about how we do things, but we know how to do it. So it only makes sense. Hey, come and get this infrastructure. It will expand our kind of list of priorities as we begin to talk about the continent. But the CBC been talking about the continent, so uh that's what I mean. You come get on code there, we come get on code here. But we shouldn't be in any position to be like criticizing the politics here, because I know my levels of ignorance. Like, I don't know all of the layers of the stuff that went on, because I hear stories like the guy from the who said he was with the MK and he set up not the MK political party, but when it was really like a revolutionary faction of the ANC. When he was talking, he got his own stories and his own perception of how things went and how they should have gone. And who am I to say, like, this dude, a whole revolutionary, he was willing to fight, die, and kill, and go to war. Mm-hmm. So who am I to say that his side was wrong? So that's just how I get down. What else we got going on? I see a lot of ones for Sun City though.
Oh no, this is long time.
Oh.
This has been a lot.
Oh. All right, let me see. Let's say you're sober minded, don't follow emotions but logic. Geechee Dan say you're crazy. We will be vicious toward each other. Definitely. You're talking about the children of Soweto. It's painful what's happening to the children of Soweto. Let me tell you something. I think it's painful what that's happening to children of Soweto, the children of New Orleans. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the whole idea about us being connected, man, if you just look at our conditions in both cities as Black people, it's like, well, y'all ain't never been to New Orleans. Most of y'all ain't never been, but I've been to both places. And I'm telling you, boys, it's rough. Our conditions. We got a lot of work to do with each other. Somebody says ancestors survived. This Barry says ancestors survived the typical massacre of 1887. We only know suffering and pain in the U.S. We will never be that violent and vicious towards them. Think about it, brother. That's not so. When I was at home, somebody was asking me about Africa and people coming, and really they was asking me about that, if Africans dislike us. Y'all know that's a real sentiment, right? And I was saying Africans, well, everywhere I've been on the continent, from Kenya to South Africa to wherever else, I've always been welcome. Tanzania, always been welcome. I've never had the feeling of someone saying I don't like you or whatever have you. And I think that's beautiful. I think I appreciate that as a child of the diaspora coming back to the continent. However, I think we can be too welcoming. You know what I'm saying? Like, at times we can be too welcoming. I don't mean for Black people. I mean for those who seek to conquer and do us ill. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes people will take our nature and use it against us, and I think that's why Son of Alcuban is saying, yeah, because there's a sentiment and rising up and Black, like, when do we ever get to cut up and act up? You know what I'm saying? But that ain't my nature. That ain't. But listen, if the people say they're gonna do it, Did you say, do you? Hey, I might be out of luck, especially when they start looting, because I need a new flat screen. When they start the looting, let me know. I'm coming to get them a flat screen or something. Now, please read my comment about Volkstein. Well, let me see a comment. Parable.
Y'all refuse to get on this live tonight.
I can't, well, it won't let me go back that far, brother. Nope. It won't let me go back that far. The RET faction, the ANC, yes. I loved your answer, NX. Go and stand on the side of those. Yes, thank you. Why is it really better not to have an opinion when you don't have all the knowledge? Yep. Their own mass land somewhere in Africa. Most because the masses are tired of the ANC arrogance and non-delivery. We want a new broom. So look, y'all, so my thing is this. Like, what the ANC, like what tell me what they did wrong. That's what I really want to know. It's like because they've been in power 30 years, but what did they do? Did they I know they promised a lot of things, but it's like 30 years. I don't know how much. I don't know. I think I'm a ANC sympathizer a slight bit because of Mandela and because that was like the first party that I ever knew of, of South Africa and the history of the ANC. So part of me is still like, like if I was born and raised in South Africa, I probably would have been with the ANC or whatever have you, just because that's what I know. But I need to know what is it that has so many South Africans disappointed in the ANC. Why are my not students, but the students at Wits, why are they so really, there's a lot of them who are anti-ANC, a lot of EFF supporters. And I wonder what happened with the EFF. Seemed like they lost a little fire, huh? I don't hear much from Julius too much no more. Like I used to see him on my YouTube feed all the time, but I don't see him putting up as much no more. Oh no, I'm good. Somebody say the ANC offering shared power is wrong. All right, brother Barry.
All right, Barry. There is no link.
Oh, I put the link. I'm telling y'all, the link is gonna say, y'all, it's gonna say, hold up. The link will say
competency restoration.
Competency restoration.
Bam.
Yeah, it says
right
competency restoration. The link is there. Brother Barry, you gotta come through SA, brother. That brother is a strong brother on that black, on that like African knowledge, New Orleans. He also with the oh man.
Hey lady.
I forgot.
Lady said, hello, Adrian in the side. Hey lady.
So yeah, if y'all want to jump on and say competency restoration, the link right there. Let me get back to the Zoom meeting. Still ain't nobody jumped on, so maybe they don't see the competency restoration.
That's where we at with it.
It's all good. So what else? So y'all, unfortunately, Adrian had to travel back to the States in December just for a week. But still, y'all, I ain't gonna lie. So and she'll tell you if God is my witness, I'm worried. I'm not worried. I'm worried not about like crazy Trump supporters. I'm worried because there was a rash of violence in New Orleans and she's going to take the baby.
Stop. The link isn't popping up.
It's not?
Odd reason. Like you're putting it in there, but it's not.
It's not
showing up. No, it's not. I lied to you not.
Well,
I don't know why.
What if I send it to you and you post it in a thing?
I mean,
let me.
I can try, but I don't know if they was let any random person put a link in.
No, I think so. Let me see if I can. Oh, maybe I'll do it like that there. Let me see.
That might work.
Yeah.
Description.
Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? Well, no, that's the chat right there.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the description.
No, maybe not. Maybe not.
Maybe what I can do is, oh, let me see something here. Maybe because it was switch accounts. Yeah. That's what I need to do.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Oh, now the chat should be up. And I should be able to put it in. Well, that camera picture is horrible, huh?
Isn't it?
There go the chats right there.
Not it. Okay.
All right. Boom.
Nice.
Now can y'all see it? There you go.
Yeah, there it is. Finally.
Yeah, there you go, Dr. Aside. Dr. Aside for post-independence African government agency done exceptionally well leading the country without civil war, genocide. All right, all right, y'all got the link. Boom, I'm waiting to see who gonna jump on this thing now. Y'all got the link. I was putting it from another thing. I guess it was blocking it. All right, we'll see. We'll give it 5 minutes, 2 minutes.
5432.
Ain't no more load shedding. So ain't no more, ain't no more like, oh, I can't jump on this load shedding. No, load shedding gone. Chalker went up for the ANC. No. Look, look, I'm gonna tell you, my partner Easy told me load shedding was a scam a long time ago. He said, man, they're doing that on purpose. And I said, man, Easy, why would anybody do that on purpose to ruin, to mess up people's days, ruin their economy? He said, they're doing it on purpose. And he told me when the election come, it was gonna go away. Bro, about 2 months before the election,
And I knew it was gonna come back. Like it's gonna come back, surely.
load shedding been gone, man. People don't even think about the people that went out bought all them inverters and stuff. I don't even use them no more. We got the inverter, don't even come on them.
Though I need to use it because of that bill.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so uh, that was a victory. That was a victory for whomever, they took the country from a crisis out of the crisis of the energy crisis or whatever have you. And now ain't nobody, I don't know. Now I also heard that what they're doing is cutting off people's stuff in the like the townships or whatever have you.
Terrible.
Yeah, so that ain't, I don't know if that's the answer right now, but as of right now, we ain't had no load shedding in months. Somebody says the ANC concentrated on filling their pockets instead of developing the country.
Mm.
Well, come on, Lifestyle Pretoria. Let's talk about it. Tell me more. Where's Josie Gold? Josie Gold to jump on here and give the whole rundown.
Not available tonight.
He
Must not be available tonight.
What?
Josie Gold.
Oh, okay. But no, I agree with Karabo. He says for a post-independence African government, ANC has done exceptionally well by leading the country without civil war, genocide, coups, or other typical post-independent African country problems. Someone said about it. All right, we got somebody jumping in. Boom. All right. Benjamin Felon. Oh no, Felon Yahoo. Felon
Not
Yahoo.
Felon Yahoo or Prison Yahoo.
Oh.
Mm.
He's connecting to audio. Oh, I see what he's saying. Like Nathan Yahoo. Yeah. Oh. I thought that was, I thought it was from Eritrea or something. I know. Brother Ben, you on this thing, man. You can unmute yourself if you want to jump on camera. Let me see. Brother Benjamin, can you hear me?
Yeah, Dr. Assad, I can hear you. That was just a play on words, especially now with this. Look, I'm actually busy right now. I can't jump on camera, but I'd love to. And yeah, I was just watching you guys.
Definitely, man. So brother, while I know you're busy, just give us a quick rundown. What are your thoughts on the ANC's role post independence versus EFF, DA? Where you stand with all of this?
Apologies. I think there's a delay.
Oh, probably so. Probably because of the YouTube Zoom. I mean, the Zoom thing.
Yes, I sorry about that. I was actually on YouTube and Zoom all together at once, and it's playing, and there's a
Okay.
feedback. So yeah, ANC for the most part actually has brought us to a point where we've never been as a country. And for all the ills that people like complaining about, we were in a much worse off situation. So yes, there's a corruption and like everywhere else, but you know what? They had a good thing going, and maybe we just needed something else. Maybe MK is the solution, but I would still vote ANC. I'd never voted before, but this time I actually voted ANC, and unfortunately they lost. So it is what it is. Yeah.
So what about the new government of national unity, the GNU? What are your thoughts on
It's
that?
Look, it's more for capitalists and multinationals, and that's never good for your common folk, right?
Right.
GNU, for
Right.
the most part, has actually, just driving on the roads, I came across this roadblock, an enforcement roadblock. So you can see how they're trying to get people. I'm saying they're putting more people in jail. They're trying to clean up things. They're trying to clean up corruption. But it's more of your white agenda, and they're not necessarily looking at kids in Soweto trying to uplift those guys and whatever the case may be. So it is good, but not for everyone.
Mr. October, I see you jumped on, my brother. You want to get on the camera? Or you just want to remain on incognito?
Yeah, I can get on camera.
Jump it on. Oh, that brother America, I heard that. Let me see. I gotta ask you to start video. There he is. What's happening, my brother?
What's going on, y'all? What's going on?
What you from Mississippi?
Oh yeah, yeah. Little small town, Carthage, Mississippi.
What's the name of it?
Carthage.
Carthage, huh?
Carthage. That's in the
Uh-huh.
Delta.
No, it's in between. It's probably like 30, 40 minutes from Jackson.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, we just met a brother last night from he from the Delta though. He and his
Okay.
wife, his children are over here visiting. They're scoping it out, thinking about whether they want to move or not.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to plant my seeds now so I can get over there full time. Yeah,
You
yeah.
been over here already?
Oh yeah, I've been over there probably about this will be my fourth time coming.
All right, when you coming?
I'm gonna come for like 2 weeks next week, right after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, make sure
yeah.
you holler at me, brother. And you say you about to open up a restaurant?
Yeah, yeah. I've been at the food trailer and I just secured a spot over there in Rudaport, and I'm gonna come there and check it out and try to see if I can get some new ideas together, and then I go and start trying to get everything hooked up.
Now tell us what kind of food you're thinking about serving so we could be prepared.
I mean, I know I seen South Africa, they got them some big old oxtails there. So I like to play with that. I found some catfish there.
What?
What? We found catfish at?
Um, I'll let you know off camera. I'm gonna let you know. Yeah, I'll let you know. But it's there they called it something else. I know when I was walking through the store, I was like, that looked just like catfish. Yeah, and lo and behold, just so happened I bought some Louisiana fish fry with me, and I'm like, oh yeah, that catfish. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like that, that bring stuff and just be like, yeah, let me see what I can do. So yeah, yeah, this will be my first little restaurant. So yeah, I'm gonna try to bring some stuff though. I mean, of course, the fried chicken and all that. Um, I know I played around with butternut. It kind of give you that sweet potato.
Potato, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay,
So
you
yeah,
talking now, brother. I see that you done studied a little bit.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I've been playing with some stuff. I'm trying to. When I come, I'm gonna try to see if I can play around with a maze and probably try to see if I can get a cornbread or something out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can use, they have polenta over here that you can use to make grits. They taste just like grits. Even pep tastes like grits. Like
Hmm.
if you know how to hook it up to where it's not as thick. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like I've seen people make grits out of because it's the same stuff. It's just
Crystal did.
yeah, Crystal made uh
Hmm.
the Joneses, they made grits out of pap because it's the same stuff. It's just how you prepare it
Right,
that
right,
makes a
right,
difference.
right,
So
right.
yeah, I think. Oh yeah, but that's the what you call it the squash, turn it into sweet potatoes. That's what I'm talking about.
It's like
Oh yeah.
wanted to be sweeter.
Yeah, you want it sweet, but you know what? I had this idea that for Thanksgiving we should do. I mean Thanksgiving. I don't. first of all, we don't really do Thanksgiving, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
since we over here now, it don't feel as bad to do it.
Oh yeah. You gonna miss it. You gonna miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to have like a Thanksgiving meal because my colleagues at Vince were like, man, we want to know what this Thanksgiving food y'all be talking about. What's the difference in y'all mac and cheese? What's the you know what I'm saying? They want to taste it. So I think coming over, you can give them that opportunity to have that real soul food taste.
Cause I sure got a big, big food trailer. Full, full kitchen. Yeah, pretty much everything you need. Yeah. I just need to get it wrapped up and everything with my logos and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, brother, when you get here, make sure you reach out to me. Let me holler at this
All right.
that's Dutois. Dutois. Saucy baby. I named Saucy Baby Lover.
All right, now, y'all though, but it was good talking to y'all. And
All right, Mr. October, my brother. Reach out
all
when
right,
you get here. All
all
right,
right.
peace. Saucy baby, you there?
Hi guys.
What's going on?
Nothing much in you guys. It's so great to see you guys on the live again. That's like been a while.
It's been a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a
How have you
while.
been?
Been good. Also moving and all those things. But yeah, been good, been good.
Where you
Just
moving
wanted to
to?
make it. No, still in Joburg, but I was moving around.
Oh, okay.
Joburg. Um, just to comment on like the ANC and stuff. I think similarly, I will say the new generation specifically, we obviously we know the history in terms of what the ANC's brought us out of and stuff like that. But I think if you, like the previous caller said, if you're looking for somebody on the grassroots type of thing, there was definitely a change that was needed. So some of these
Mhm.
other smaller parties did speak to the local communities and stuff like that. And I think that's why the GNU actually came into play. And I don't necessarily think what the GNU is doing necessarily is bad. I think they're just highlighting further things that have been happening over the last couple of years, probably the last 10, 15 years. So I think it's a transition period, I think, specifically because there's a new group of voters. People are not
Yeah.
necessarily standing necessarily with the ANC because they're black specifically.
Yeah.
Now it's a case of we have a choice because of we're starting to learn about the democracy, what it actually stands for. People are making a choice in terms of similarly like in America, what affects me every day?
Yeah.
What changes are they making in the community every day? What laws are
Mhm.
being put in place that actually impact me every day? So I think people just are starting, if they are doing the right thing, they educating themselves with regards to what changes they can make in terms of who they put in power, specifically in the community base. Because I see that
Mhm.
that's a big thing in the community. Some communities are being run slightly differently to others. They're getting more funds in certain areas. Some people are becoming more activists in their own communities as well to raise
Mhm.
awareness for communities that are actually struggling. So I think that's the biggest. I think ANC, yes, they brought us out of where we came from, and I don't think anybody can necessarily um, not say they didn't do that. But I
Yeah.
do think there is a new group of people that are looking for change. So yeah, that's what I
I
see.
think that's well, I agree. I think that was just a sentiment across the world at this point. Everybody just like, I want to change. Even
Yeah.
as much as I want to blame like racism on the Trump election, I think a lot of people just wanted change. They didn't
Yeah.
really care what kind of change it was, just change. And I think like maybe that's some of the sentiments here in SA. Also,
Yeah,
I
and
think like
also because yeah, we now a global community, and so we're
mm,
also getting involved, like we said, with the Israel-Palestine thing, and a lot
right,
of the G20, and also COP27. There's a lot of stuff that young people are starting to get impacted by. They're also starting to have their own kids and families and things like that, and those types of stuff are impacting the future of where they see the country going. So if
yeah,
the ANC is also not willing to change their stance on being a liberation struggle movement and going to communities and see what the communities are needing and not this high horse I'm in power and only really look at the elite but actually go into
mm,
on the ground, then maybe they'll still stay there. But I think because of that, the long years, especially when Zuma came into play, there was a lot of corruption that was starting to happen, where people were getting into spaces where they saw the gap, and to make money with friends or family or whatever the case may be. And I think that's where people started saying, but there's a lot of people that were waiting 30 years for houses, and they've been living in, your shanty towns and that type of thing. For 30 years, they're still waiting for homes. But then other people who never even stayed in the area are starting to get homes in that exact area where they've been waiting for houses. So I think that a lot of the struggles is that, and obviously economic disparities is very rife in this country, and I think people are just tired, and they were tired specifically this year. So I just also think we need to look at the number of people that actually voted, and I think for me, it's become voter apathy, where people just didn't go out and vote because people never really spoke to their true values and stuff. So I still think there is an opportunity for a different kind of party to come into play that actually speaks to everybody and that actually speaks for everyone. And that hasn't happened yet. I think there's still too much. People are still on the white black thing. There's still a little bit of people that want to look out for their own communities, type of thing. So I think if there does get one created and that speaks for everybody and that speaks to all people's concerns, then you might see a different change in the next election. But we'll see how the GNU does. I don't know.
I want to ask you about Orania. What are your thoughts on Orania? Since everybody bring that up, what are your thoughts on it?
Okay, so I did a bit of research on it, particularly because the way that apartheid started was, in terms of the idea of it, is exactly how Orania started. So,
for real?
Me, yeah. So for me, how I see Orania, what happened was it was actually a piece of government land that was purchased by a family, an Afrikaans family. And then what they did was they basically started like a community of their own. Maybe friends, family came and stayed in the area, and they started developing it without government funding. So they would build farmlands or they would build houses all on their own with no government assistance. So even like your sanitation and stuff gets done by the community that stays in that area. They don't, it's not at all funded by anything related to government. They created their own little, I will say bank, but it's not necessarily a currency. They trade in like voucher systems. So, for example, you can put money into the bank that will then convert into their little voucher system that they have in the area. But the only requirement that they require, which is what they stand on, and I'm not necessarily in agreement with it, but in order to stay in that area, you have to love the Afrikaans culture. So what type of people are Afrikaans? It's generally white people, white and coloreds, basically.
Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. The man, the myth, and the legend himself, Josie Gold, has joined the discussion.
Josie has it.
I know Josie about to give us a whole lesson. Josie, can you hear me? He's here. Let me see. I'm gonna ask him to unmute. There you go.
Hello,
brother Josie. What's going on with you?
I'm good, and how you doing?
I'm good. My brother. I had called your name about 3 or 4 times already on this live. I said, "Where's Josie Gold? He'll come."
No, I'm right here. It's just been a bit busy.
All right, Josie, tell us what's going on, man. We got the government of national unity. What's your thoughts on the GNU?
Look, I gave up on politics a long time ago. So GNU, this or that, I haven't really been following it that much because I just don't believe in politics. I just believe the people that are funding these people, they're the ones that are in control. Everybody else is just there to vote. Just to look like you're doing something, to give yourself like some sort of feeling that you have power, but you don't actually really have power.
Yeah, I agree with that. A lot of the smaller parties were exactly funded by big and multinational companies and stuff like that in order to push their own agenda.
So y'all elections go the same way ours go. Like, so I've been having a problem with American elections for a long time because I said if only the wealthy can afford to run for political office or individuals who have access to wealth, then you don't have a democracy. You have a what did I say? Oligarchy, where it's just a government controlled by the wealth. So I didn't know that people can make donations here like that. I thought it was different.
Yeah, you can make donations. Your donations have to be public if it's more than I think it's more than 1,000 rand or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But they never make it really necessarily public. And also, you must remember, in order to start or fund a party, I think you need something like, if I'm not mistaken, like 750,000 rand just to start the party to begin with, before you even get any vote, something of that nature. And then obviously with the votes also, you need to obviously, in order to get anything, you need to, in your base area, you need to have a certain number of votes as well. So you can't just start the party and expect to be on the ballot. There's a certain number of votes you have to have, and you need to have a certain amount of funds in order to get onto the ballot.
What
I
about
think it's
signatures?
700.
And instead of the
Yeah,
votes, can you say the number of signatures?
yeah, signatures. But like I said, the signatures, I can't remember, because I remember with Musi Maimane that started his party. What he basically tried to do is he's trying to, how can I put it? Because of the way the electoral system works in South Africa, you can't, you as an independent really cannot do much. You'll never be able to do anything. You need to actually start an actual political party. You can't be an independent person. So he was trying to get all the independents under his umbrella in order to get them a national footprint, and as well as a provincial footprint. So that's why he started his, and he's actually trying to change the law in terms of the electoral law about how people actually can get into government, because he does, similarly like what you just said now, it is an unfair system because only the rich can actually get into power. And you will never be able to go up against people like the DA or the ANC or the bigger parties unless you have the money or the funds.
Yeah.
So yeah, and similarly, like obviously with your campaigning and stuff, it's expensive to get word out and stuff like that about your party and things like that. So it is a I believe exactly what you said now. It's literally an oligarch, if I could
Mm.
call it that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and what to me, what happens is like I had a conversation one time with somebody a long time ago when they was whispering, trying to see if I would think about running for something. And they were telling me how much money I would have to raise for this little bitty office, like a state representative office. And I'm like, they don't even, because they're part-time, they only make $12,000 or $14,000 a year. They're part-time. And it's like you need to raise 150,000 to even think about getting this $14,000 a year job. But it's the access to power and controlling legislation is what people seek that office for, but they also seek that office to springboard them into city council, and then city council into maybe a mayorship and all that type of stuff. But what happens is the guy who really has a heart for the community, who lives in the community, who knows the problems, who knows how to solve those problems, he knows the people, he could never afford to run for any office. He'll never be able to actually do the work that the people need done, because you have the rich people controlling who the campaigns. You have rich people controlling the political system, the political campaigning system. Even before you
Yeah.
get into the actual writing of policies and laws, you have
Yeah.
the money. You have to have the money to play. I think
Yeah.
in America and in SA, somebody got to do something about that. That's unfair. Like Josie,
Yeah,
if
it
you look
is.
at
Yeah.
somebody like Josie, if Josie decided to run for office, I don't know what party he would be in, but just from these YouTube conversations with him, I'm like, this brother seems sharp. He seems like he's for the people or whatever have you. Would Josie Gold ever be able to be elected? Who knows? We don't know Josie's face, though. That's another thing. Josie
You
ain't never said
actually do.
it,
You've seen me. You
but I
just
don't
didn't
know
know
I've
it was
seen.
me.
Yeah, and that's scary. Josie might hit me in the back of my head one day, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know it's Josie. So Josie, what you think about that, man? So you say the GN, you don't really care too much about politics, but I know you have an opinion on what some of the changes that have been taking place since the election.
Okay, look, party that I've been looking at is the DA. I would never vote for the DA, but if you actually follow them carefully, a lot of the things that they used to say about the ANC, they're just quiet about right now since they got into a coalition with them. It's like you just give them a bit of money, give them a few positions, and everybody starts getting along. Like it just seems disingenuous. Like politics as a whole, I think I started accepting that a lot of these people are just doing this just for the money. It's a job, just like everywhere else. So it's taught me to be careful around politics, be careful around people who tell me that they represent me. Most of them don't. It's just their ticket for another meal or to buy a Bentley or a Ferrari.
Yeah, and another one as well, like the PA. I don't know if you guys know Gayton McKenzie, who started a couple of years ago. He's actually our sports minister currently. For me, he's a perfect example of a perfect politician. Because at one stage he was just for colored people. And then he swapped his tune because he realized that coloreds are a small minority, not a minority, but they a little group of people in South Africa. And he then decided, no, he's going to be for the majority of people. And then all of a sudden his tune changed. And then the next best thing, he's, like now he's in the GNU. And before he was with the GNU, he was talking all this nonsense about the ANC and the DA. And today he's sitting with them in parliament discussing changing laws with them and in the same tune as them. So he's a perfect politician in that sense, where he's that type of guy. And that's unfortunately what politics does, because you worry about the vote and how to gain the vote. Because right now, I believe he's in the GNU so that his party can grow, so that he can work in order to get his party in terms of the bigger numbers so he can have more seats in parliament again and that type of thing. So he's like I honestly think he's the perfect politician and an example of one that is very wishy-washy from left to right. And then next best thing, he's now all happy because he's got a seat in parliament now and his party is going to grow. That I can guarantee you, because he's making the loudest noise at the moment.
What's his party?
It's the PA, Patriotic Alliance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and now
he's making a lot of noise at the moment. The DA, no, he was against the DA and he was against the ANC. And when they decided to do the GNU, then he was speaking all these nice things about them. And now he's best friends with all of them. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's a perfect politician at the moment. Yeah.
All right, we got brother T, or we got TM Magosli. Magasi.
How are you doing, doctor?
What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm very well. Adrian, how are you doing? You too?
Good, and you?
Fantastic, thanks. Good evening to everyone else. I just wanted to share my piece actually regarding the GNU as well. Maybe actually I should start with the Orania issue. A lot of people, I've noted that because of the angst that everybody has with the current government, is that they are looking for solutions. And for some, Orania seems like a fit for purpose solution, if I may put it that way. But you have to understand that Orania, in its core, it was created by if I may say, the offsprings of one of the most prominent apartheid architects, which is Hendrik Verwoerd. When these people actually acquired that old government land, they did so because they didn't like the GNU of 1994, not the one that we are talking about. So the first GNU was in 1994 when there was a government of national unity, when Nelson Mandela was elected as first black president in this country. So though there are a few Afrikaners that were not happy with the black government, they created that estate, which is called Orania. And at this particular moment, they are fighting or asking the same government that they didn't want to be part of to recognize them as a council or a township or a metropolitan or a municipality. You see how those that cookie actually is currently crumbling is that now the same government that you didn't want to be part of, you have to ask for it to be able to recognize you. And also you have to consider the fact that the people in Orania, they have a different mentality that most of the Afrikaners in South Africa do not want to be part of. Because if you are about Afrikaner recognition and excellence, then the Afrikaner bond would have joined you a long time ago. Yes, they might support you as their brethren, but they do not appreciate the fact that Orania wants to see itself as an independent state within the borders of South Africa, just like a country of Lesotho is. Because now what that does, because if you print your own currency, you are actually saying that I do not want to be part of this current South Africa. And the unfortunate thing is that politicians are very quick to use or to see a crack and then drag a wedge and a mallet and then go hammer and tongs at it, because that's their job, to look at weaknesses and then use those weaknesses in for their own benefit. And Orania, I can tell you right now, it is a flawed concept for a new South Africa, because Orania, in its core, it doesn't want people of color to be part of its progress or of its excellence or of its growth. They want to be a self-sufficient group of Caucasians that have or of Dutch descendant. That's what they want to become. And also, on the other hand, they also want to be recognized as a council or a municipality. That doesn't work. And also, when you look at the current GNU, the main partner, which is the Democratic Alliance, what they've done is they've been planning for years to be in this government. They first started by recruiting formidable, if we can put it this way, liberal African individuals that can be part of their leadership, if I may put it that way. And leaders such as Mashaba, who owns a party, leaders such as Maimad, who also own his own party. These are the guys that were chosen by the DA and its federal chairperson, which is Helen Zille, to create a federal structure that recruits Black people, because no matter what you do, you need Black votes in this country. Without Black votes, it doesn't matter what concept or manifesto of excellence that you have. If you do not have Black votes, you will never get in government. And they've been working towards creating this GNU because their partners in Washington have been telling them that that's your first ticket to get into government, is to actually recruit these people, recruit the people that the people of color will be able to trust. And now it's coming to the fore. And the parties such as the MK, the EFF, those parties were invited by the ANC. It's not as if they were shunned out of the GNU. They were invited and they opted not to become part of the GNU because of the demands that ANC felt that they went above board. So they opted out of the GNU, and then the current GNU was created with the majority party being the ANC, and the second party that had the majority would be the DA. So this plan has been in action for a long time, but it's important that the most people understand that these current leaders and the parties that we have, they have an antiquated way of doing things that will never be able to solve South African problems. If you as an individual, you cannot understand what the problem is, then you do not have the capability of coming up with a solution. Because the first point of port of call is understanding what the particular problem is. And I'll give you a quick example. When it comes to the 35% unemployment rate, if you look at that particular figure, if there are 1,000 jobs in South Africa and there are 1,000 people, and you employ all those people, you have 100% job security within the country. So you won't have any unemployment. But if 300 of those people lose their jobs, that means that your unemployment rate is already 30%. So if legal and illegal migrants come to the country and they take up 200 jobs, already your unemployment rate is now 50%, even if 300 South Africans are not part of that index that you are making. So even if the government can create more jobs and you have people coming from outside and they take up the jobs because their cost of labor is cheap, or their education and the experience is world class, and those jobs are going to those people. So the current politicians do not have the understanding of the problem. So, and it's difficult for these people to be able for us to actually, as citizens, to expect them to be able to solve our problems when they don't understand what solutions will be required to be able to alleviate such things. So,
look, TM, I want to ask you this,
yes.
because I know you jumped on the GNU, but I want to go
Yes.
back to Aranya right quick before we bring Tad
Sure,
in.
sure,
So
sure.
when somebody is Sister Saucy Baby Lover told us that they don't rely on any of South Africa's infrastructure. They created their own thing. However, when someone is born in Orania, do they get a South African birth certificate? Are they South African citizens? How does that work?
It's the same as when someone is born in a farm and the government is not informed about the birth of that person. The government will have no clue if that person exists because the parents, they didn't exercise their responsibility of informing the government that we do have a new citizen. So it'll be up to the occupants of that particular estate, which is Orania, to either inform or not inform the South African health department that we do have a newborn. But inadvertently, what that does is that person then will never have an ID. They will never have a passport because they do not belong to any other country. So I do not know if, in particular, if the people in Orania would then create their own passport, which is not recognized globally. You can't go past any, because here's the thing, Orania would be a landlocked state within South Africa. How are they flying in their goods if they do not use the infrastructure of South Africa, which is just ridiculous. That's why I say a lot of people don't understand that Orania, no matter what you do, they're not gonna helicopter bricks, cement, wood to make their roof, food, all those things. How are they bringing those things into that particular estate if they do not use South African roads, trucks, petrol, electricity, and so forth? And yes, some things you can be able to create. For example, you can use solar powered devices. That I understand, but fundamentally, you will not be able to be successful. It doesn't matter. It's the same as them having their own money. To be able to have your own money, there's a system that we call $100 in a yard. No matter what you do, if there are 10 people and they're all sharing this $100 in a yard, eventually one person will own the entire currency because that person will have one single service that everybody cannot live without. So these are the type of things that you have to understand if you're going to create your own country, is that you have to be able to deal with other countries. As much as we are not happy with the way ANC is doing things, but there are things that we have to understand as citizens, that if you're gonna use Orania as a speed stick or a marker or a blueprint, you have to also use their flaws as a blueprint to be able to see if they would work against your country or not.
Absolutely. So Josie raised his hand. So Josie and then Saucy Baby. But whoever answers, I want, and then we jump into Tad. I want to ask this: do they pay taxes? Do the people of Aranya pay SARS? Because I gotta pay SARS. So
Yeah.
if I gotta pay SARS, I want them paying SARS too.
Okay. I think, look, I think there's some things that we need to be clear about Orania. Orania is not an independent state. Like, from my understanding, from one of the interviews, one of the guys said about Orania, like one of the people there, Orania technically is listed as an estate, kind of like the estates here in Joburg. You can't just from out of nowhere just start your own country in the Republic of South Africa. The only two examples of that are Lesotho and Swaziland. Everything else, like you and your friends can't do that. So they have to pay tax to the South African government. It's impossible to avoid it. They'll get arrested. So if they want benefits from South Africa, like let's say there's certain things only citizens can get, they're going to need their ID documents. So knowing white people, like there's a high probability that they do have those things. So it's impossible to just lock yourself up completely. Sure, I get what they're trying to do, being self-reliant, etc., trying to do everything for themselves and keep the blacks away. But the reality is that it's still under the Republic of South Africa. So I remember some years back they introduced their own currency. They can't trade with people outside of with their currency. It just don't make it, it's just not valuable. They can only do it amongst themselves. So yeah.
So all right, thank you, Josie. Saucy Baby, you had your hand raised up.
Yeah, it basically was going to say exactly that what Josie said. Currently, they're not an independent state. They're just a little town or little section of a part of the Free State where they are self-sufficient. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they are, in terms of legally, being able to. I know they've got a lot of farmland, so they grow their own vegetables. They do a lot of the stuff they do is internal. They try as minimal as possible to basically get their supplies from outside of the area, and I'm not advocating for them at all. I was just trying to explain the dynamics of what happens there. It's not that it's a area that I would suggest how everybody, the whole idea that I remember why they started, like I said, and it's right what Mr. Mahotsi said when he said that it was a family that was basically from Verwoerd's family who started apartheid, and their whole idea was separatism. So everybody has their own little piece of land. So whether it be the Zulus or the Xhosas or the Pedis, and then obviously the Afrikaans people, you all love your own separate land. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's necessarily racism, but they wanted everybody to have their own separate space. And that's what they're still trying to achieve, you understand, in their own way. Not that it's right, and I don't agree with it, but that's basically what it is.
Gotcha. Brother Tad, I see you jumped on here. Or it just says Tad, T-A-D. Tad, you still there? Let me ask you to unmute. Maybe that'll.
Unmute. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you well, my brother.
Yes. How are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Good evening to you and to Adrian. I wanted to speak to you about the ANC. You said earlier on that when you born here, you have been a member of the ANC. I hear you, my brother, but I personally believe, that's my view. I believe that politics and political parties are not something to be a member of where you have a political T-shirt like a football club or something like that. But let me tell you about the ANC, what problem we had with them. There was something the South Africans then called political obesity, where the ANC just was too big. It was a two-thirds majority, or it had a two-thirds majority in parliament. And at some point, there's some people, when we complain about corruption, there were some comrades and some people who were in leadership who started telling us that they did not join the struggle to be poor. And they started being smart about the corruption that they were enacting and throughout the system. And up until such time that Mr. Jacob Zuma himself said that the ANC will rule until Jesus comes. So you can understand, we are in Africa. We looked at all the liberation parties in Africa, and we had a problem with all the countries where the political parties that liberated the people started undermining the people and they even came despots out of it. People just didn't want to relinquish power. When you suddenly hear people like Jacob Zuma say that they will be the ANC will be in power until Jesus comes, it became a problem. And there was a time you could feel that the ANC suddenly was sort of like bigger than the country. Even now, you have Cyril who just doesn't want to disappoint the ANC. The soul of the ANC sometimes seems to matter most than the soul of the country, or they just believe that if they save the ANC, they will have saved the country. So that became a problem for me, someone who was looking for something of an what's this? I'm going to find a way. Something that's similar to what you have in the United States, which suddenly became a problem of its own, where you have the Democrats and on the other side the Republicans, where if the Democrats are not doing well, then the Republicans are coming in maybe in 10 years' time. Equilibrium, I think something like that. So we had a problem where the ANC was just too big, and then there was just no opposition party that could fill in. And it became a crisis until such time where we saw even the SG of the party came in a big G-Wagon, Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon 63. Big Mercedes-Benz, I think it's got a 4-liter engine. He was going around with a camera and going around on the street, t-shirts, ANC t-shirts, and the people were running around the streets picking him up. So for me, that was a crisis. It shows that the people in the ANC, they've not realized that they are servants of the people. And then someone needed to wake them up. And eventually it was the voters who voted them out, giving them 40%. And so it was that the ANC got a wake up. I don't know if they'll ever realize that it doesn't work to be such mighty, and look at how they've fallen.
So what you're saying is that the ANC began to just take the people for granted, and that people's identity became wrapped up in not the struggle for democracy or the struggle for equality, but the struggle in keeping the ANC alive.
Correct, yes. And also the eating, like eating at a trough and eating at all costs, eating the money, just a wastage of taxpayers' money, and it just became a problem. And you look at the roads, South Africa is not where it's supposed to be. It could have been further, but hey, corruption settled in, and then it became a problem, and we could have been further. Yes, we are where we are now, but had it not been for things like that, yes, there came in things like BEE, affirmative action. We thought those were going to be vehicles that were going to empower the black man, but it empowered some black men and not others. So it became a problem. It became Animal Farm, where some were just bigger than others, and the animals were just not longer equal.
So about that BEE, I learned recently that you have a lot of businesses, or several businesses I learned about, that I was saying, oh, they black owned, and people they tell me nah, they're not really black owned. Like, they have a black person there, but they're there in face only, not necessarily with with the power to hire people or really control the company.
We're dealing with an evil system, an imperialist system. Capitalists, they've always come up with ways of undermining the system. So you would say that there must be a black person, or there must be this majority or this number of black people there. And then they try to counter the system by adding a few yes ma'am and a few Uncle Toms, people that they know that they'll be able to control, or people that they know that you just get me on the street. I don't have a degree in nothing whatsoever. You just put me there in the board, and then I look like I am representing blackness, but actually I'm just there to get a few thousand rands, and the white people are still maintaining the status quo. So it became exactly what you just described now. So that became a problem. Sorry.
No, I'm saying Josie Gold's jumping in here. He had his hand raised.
Okay, yes.
Is Tad done?
Yes, I'm done.
Hello? Okay. All right, look, the whole situation of the companies where they have a black person and but they're not really in control, and they don't really pay them that kind of money. I think it's called fronting, where they just need the black person to get specific contracts and stuff like that to meet BEE ratings and scores. So that's what they normally call it. And then the whole ANC thing. Look, let's go back in time a bit, right? The elections that I remember, like the first ones I remember, because 94, that's 30 years ago. I was too young to remember that. I was only 3 years old. So the ones that I remember was like the 99 ones. That's when I really realized, hey, this thing is a big deal. Like I'd see Mandela on TV early years of my life. Those are my early memories. I remember meeting him. Like it was a big deal. Mandela. But I remember like when I was around 8 years old, like 99, that's when I realized how the atmosphere of the elections and what the ANC meant to the people back then. It was the savior. I mean, like how does care like people viewed the ANC as the savior, like they couldn't go wrong. They're the only ones that could destroy itself, like, and that's what's been happening. Because in the beginning they were trying to uplift their people, like over time, like like there was a time when it seemed like the ANC was like trying to do their best, and then over time it just kind of fell off. I mean, if you came here like some years back, whenever people would talk about politics, especially black people of a certain age, the only thing they would say is that the ANC must do this or that. They couldn't see any other political party.
Yeah.
So the ANC misused that. And they took people for granted. They stopped caring about it. It was just more about people getting in, making a quick buck and getting out. So that's why the ANC fell off over time. And if you look at the trajectory of the ANC, people predicted this like previous elections that it will fall off and be below 50. Next elections below 40. So and that's what we're seeing in front of us. That's what happened this year. And it's because of their behavior over the years. They did a lot for their people, for our people, but then over time they just kind of like forgot about the people and their mandate. So yeah.
So here's my question about like the ANC fall off. Had not Zuma started the MK party, like correct me if I'm wrong, didn't the majority of the MK party come from the ANC? So had not he start, go ahead, is that right?
Okay. If a few years back, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, Kgalema Motlanthe, if not him, it was someone else. One of the things that they said would destroy the ANC or put them in this position that they're in right now is a split. This is when Jacob Zuma was still at his height within the ANC, where he was running things. So the split within the ANC was predicted even when Zuma was part of the ANC. That could be one of the reasons that drops the ANC to where it is today. So like this was also predicted. So like would it have happened? I think it was still gonna drop, maybe by not as much as it did with Zuma leaving, but still, this whole thing about a split happening and the ANC being reduced to by 50% was spoken about even back then. Even when, remember, the ANC was above 60. Under Cyril, they just got above 50. I forgot what the exact number it was, but it was still dropping over time.
So why then is not the MK a part of the GNU?
Well, they couldn't come up with an agreement. I think Jacob Zuma and them said they don't recognize Cyril as the ANC president type of thing. It's that competition.
So you think Zuma was trying to get back into the presidency?
Not into the presidency, but at least some level of position of power. So like a bit of control. I think he wants those charges gone.
Oh, I thought that was done because they let him out of jail. I thought he was straight on that.
No. It's still on.
Oh, so he like Trump. Trump is facing charge. That's why people were saying Trump and Zuma are the same people. Yeah, people facing charges. Saucy baby, what you saying? You're on mute if you're talking, Saucy.
Saucy.
Sorry. No, I was just going to say, yeah, he's exactly like Trump in that sense, because they were both not very educated in terms of schooling, and he managed to, with his popularity, be able to get into power in terms of the ANC as well. But the other thing is both the MK and the EFF, they were also asked to be part of the GNU, but there was requirements that they wanted, which was certain positions in Parliament, and they never got it, and that's one of the reasons why they never joined the GNU, because EFF wanted, I think it was the finance minister, and I think Zuma. The thing with the MK was they didn't want to recognize. They wanted Cyril to step down as the ANC president, and in order for them to join the GNU. So that's what happened there. And I think they also just started it just to take away support from the ANC, because I just think MK is the ANC, but on a more radical front. And I think they started it just so that they can get votes away from the ANC, so that they don't actually have full power. And then the GNU had to be created. But I think MK thought ANC was going to go with them. And then there would have been like a EFF MK kind of coalition, which they thought that might happen, but that didn't end up happening that way. So.
So that makes me wonder, like, well, I don't know much. I don't want to say too much negative about the DA, but from what you hear about the DA or whatever have you in their history, it just makes me wonder, like, if people's quest for power allowed for now this GNU to Tad, come on in, Tad. You can jump in, just get off mute. You heard me? Here, I asked you to unmute yourself.
Okay, yes. Can you hear me now, Dr. Fat?
Yep, I can hear you.
So I wanted to throw in a few things that will shock you. It is that the ANC, big as it was, it always has been that every political party that emerged came out of the ANC, almost all of them. It was UDM, it was a splinter from the ANC. EFF was also a splinter from the ANC, and so now we see MK. So it's just really the monster eating its own entrails. It's just the ANC really beckoning with its own issues. These are comrades that are having issues with each other. They are trying to settling the score using us, the voters. So we just need to vote carefully, ultimately, and look at what deliverables these parties have ultimately. Because like ultimately all of these people, they are ANC, all of them, they come, UDM, all of them, EFF, they are members, they are ANC. Deep down, they speak ANC, they all speak hard with their leaders. Everybody, they're going to talk about, they tell you about Mandela or Tambo, whether it's Malema, whether it's Zuma. So you can tell, even Zuma today, he's a member of the MK, but he says he's a member of the ANC, he's still fighting for a membership in the ANC. That's a bit weird. How could you be a member of two political parties?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But that's Zuma for you. So yeah, we looked and then we found that we don't have any other country south of South Africa, and all the countries have been falling like dominoes, and we had a situation where if this country collapsed, there's no run. We'll run to Botswana or where. There's no other country. We just needed to sort this one. So like we've seen that democracies in Africa have been struggling to deal with consistency, with being democratic.
You fell off a little bit on the last part, but I think I heard you. So I know we've been on here 115 minutes, and I know we getting tired and my computer about to die. So what I want to say is this. Anybody got any last closing words or statements that I should think about? Because listen, we here. We are not going back. I mean, she's going back for a visit, but so at some point I need to be again, I will never be vocal about y'all need to go and vote this way, but that ain't what I'm going to do with it. But I do need to be for as a resident of South Africa, I need to be aware of what's going on. Somebody said South Africa is one hell of a country. It is. No,
Yes.
it's one hell of a country, and it's a great country. Um, you know, I always tell my South Africa, y'all heard me say it, y'all a little too hard on your country, only 30 years of democracy. I think a lot of stuff, everybody has great big aspirations, but y'all 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I do think you know, give yourself some time. Like, where was the United States 30 years after its democracy or whatever other country? With that being said, I live here now, so I got to be involved. I need to know what's going on, who I need to support. Y'all done told me I could write some checks to some political candidate. I might buy me a candidate or two.
If you have enough money, you'll be able to start your own party, I'm sure.
Might buy me a candidate. No, I ain't gonna. Yeah, I ain't running. I ain't gonna start no party. I don't want no trouble. I don't want no trouble.
Well, I
But
would just say, look, I always say, and as much as it seems as if there's this thread, I think the world is changing in terms of its politics. It's becoming a lot. I feel politics in general is becoming a lot more separatist in most countries. People are starting to look out for themselves and for their own country and for their own people. Similarly, like in America with your immigrants issue, we've got that same issue here. You know, and I think we just need to, as a country, maybe, and I don't like to use this, but and I'm not sure if you'll understand this analogy, but basically we need to use the Springboks analogy, which basically for me is where we manage to, in the time of crisis, still come together as a people and still try to do the work on the ground. So even if whatever's happening there on top and who's in power and stuff, as long as the people on the ground are trying at least the utmost to continue. Because if I look at what's happening on YouTube and on some of the some of the news stories, there's a lot more positive stories about South Africa than there was previously. And people are starting to see the value that this country does have. So I'm all for anybody who's interested in coming to take advantage. Like Adrian was talking about what must happen if people need to take the advantage of what they see. That's all good. I mean, at the end of the day, we're becoming a global country. We're a global nation now. And so if we feel there's opportunity overseas, you're more than welcome to go do that. And that opportunity is there for you, great. And similarly, other people that see opportunity in our country, as long as it benefits the ordinary, I feel, as long as the people that are living here benefit from it as well. So that's my take on it. And I'm all for globalism, because that's where the world is going. So we need to be more open to that. I don't necessarily like the separate politics necessarily. So
definitely. I think it was Booker T. Washington they called it the Atlanta Compromise, and I'm about to mess this quote up. So all my Black Americans watching who know the quote, don't come at me, don't come for me. I'm telling you, I'm about to mess it up. But he said, in all things purely social, we could be as separate as the fingers, but all things for the mutual progress, we could be together like the fist. It's something like that, but I understand the sentiment. So Josie, go. You're on mute.
Yeah, okay. Look, this section of YouTube, which is initially the Pan-African space of YouTube, back then, lockdown time, there wasn't really a lot of positivity around South Africa at that time.
Yep.
It was, boy.
And the
People
real
called us
South
all kind of
Africa,
stuff.
the real South Africa, like Mark and Natasha Blanton, they were the only ones doing it. And I remember, I think the first time I saw about you was one of your comments on their channel. Then the Hillbro video popped up somewhere, like, even though it was a negative experience, it was still positive in a way, in its own way. So I think so you guys also kind of like you shine a light, like a positive light. It got to a point where, like, before nobody was talking about South Africa, and then now a lot of people are, some negative still, but there's a more of a positive balance, because the people actually like you guys who actually live here, visit here. So there's actually a counteractive type of thing, like, Like you have your own lived experience, they have theirs as well. So, and I think that's the good thing that came about from it. So, I like to thank the two of you for that.
Man, well,
You've got ambassadors with your honesty.
No, thanks South
Yeah.
Africa for being warm and welcoming, man. Like, listen, from day one when we've been here, people have embraced us. When we were doing these South African American YouTube things,
Like online
online
meetups.
meetups. But when we came, people were like, so I told y'all before, I already thought people were trying to set me up because they'd be like, Doc, I would like to meet with you. And I'm like, man, who want to meet with me? What you trying to do to me? You know? But it was honest. People just wanted to talk, and they were happy that we were enjoying South Africa, and they wanted to show me their communities. Ronaldo took me to El Dorado. That was scary. He you remember when we was,
Well, yeah, on the way out when he was
remember
like,
he was like, man, we were in El Dorado, and we were sitting in his driveway trying to put our stuff in the GPS. He was like, no, don't do that. Just ride and put it put it in your GPS as you leave. You don't want to sit outside. But with that being said, people took me around and they embraced us, and that's beautiful because all seriousness, and Find Home Again, in my book, I talk about that feeling of being stripped of home, right? Not knowing where your home was when you have my city was flooded, and then you have a hostile environment in the United States, which never makes us comfortable enough to feel at home, even though technically that is our home, right? But coming here to South Africa and have everybody warm and welcome and telling us welcome home, embracing us. I mean, and then what's so crazy is like we went to visit our friends. Was that today or yesterday? We went to get today, and the brother, I said, Sawabona, and he greeted me or whatever have you. And so I've been trying to play around with a little bit of the Zulu, but you could just see his face light up. Afterwards, when I gave him my ID to get into the thing, he realized I wasn't South African, right? But then you could see his face light up like, oh, you're learning my language, you're really embracing our culture. And I'm trying my best or whatever have you. I got my ways, But with that being said, it's just like this connection here is really real. We sit around with a whole bunch of African Americans all the time talking about the same thing. And it's just this feeling of being at home. And that's really why the book is called Find Home Again, is because that was just this theme that kept coming up of how we felt here and how we've been embraced. So we think the people of South Africa, you're gonna never get me to say nothing bad about y'all except for the taxi drivers, yeah, I'm still not rocking with the taxi drivers, but other than that, it's all good. So family, look, we gotta go. It's been 2 hours we've been on here. Thank y'all so much.
Assad, one more thing.
Go ahead.
I'll still continue supporting you in the shadows. Bye.
And I've never seen this dude face, man. It's dangerous. I think he worked for the people. He might work for the CIA. You think Josie worked for the CIA?
No.
We've been wondering what's going on with Josie Gold. I'm about to do a whole investigation, Josie.
Josie been around.
Yeah.
For a long time. He be on everybody's page too. Ain't nobody seen his face. Man, y'all have a good one.